Hello and welcome to the kitchen table. It's Alison Soughton here from Melksham Team Ministry. It's good to gather again, and the weeks are galloping by. The days are moving us closer and closer to that Christmas morning. I think it was yesterday. It feels like a long time ago, but it might have been yesterday or Sunday. Derek and I were sat watching an old film on the TV. It was Great Expectations, you know, that old-fashioned black and white film that tells that amazing story. And when we'd finished watching the film, we started to chat about expectation and how Christmas is always so full of expectation. Not just for the littlies in the world, but for all of us. Your Christmas expectations may be about always doing things in a similar pattern, in visiting people at the same time, maybe sharing a drink or going for a meal somewhere together that has been a tradition for many, many years. Some of it might be that, you know, Uncle George always comes and sits in the corner with his bottle of stout telling his jokes. There are so many different ways in which we gather and we celebrate. But this year, expectation is something quite different. This year, I'm reminded of a saying which I grew up listening to as a young girl, and that was always that some people in life can only be relied on to be unreliable. Spoken with great wisdom and sagely. Well, the only thing about 2020 that we can rely upon is that it will go out kicking and screaming much the way as it's run all the way through the year, and we will be to that very wire still in a country that is full of doubt and uncertainty about how we are going to spend our time together. As I record this, there are discussions about the talk that we will have from the Cabinet tomorrow about which tiers we will be in following Christmas and which tiers we will be in now, given the rise in numbers in areas across the country. We also have, of course, that deadline of Brexit looming, which is going to leave us, it seems, with no deal and with uncertainty about how our future trading is going to look, about how even the basics of getting food in and out of our country, the essentials that we will need, how they are going to move, and how we as people are going to move freely or not around Europe and the world. It's just so full of ifs, ands, buts and maybes. On the table today, I have put my crib, and I've got the wise men who are journeying, expectant. They are hoping to go and see their baby Jesus. They will have been following that star in expectation that when they arrive with their gifts, they will meet the Messiah. That is the one thing in 2020 that does not change. That as we gather together, however we do that, in small groups, on our own at home, however Christmas looks for you this year, that one truth is yours, is that Christ is coming and that we can expect, as we celebrate Christmas, to know that Jesus broke through and into our world and changed it forever. And in that place of expectation and of hope, we can truly put our trust. So in all the ups and downs, the doubts, the whys, the wherefores, there is something that holds true and fast. For many of us, Christmas is a time of joy and celebration. But Christmas is also a time where loss is felt more keenly. I can say that as this will be my first Christmas without my mum. And that's a sense of deep loss. And I know for so many of you out there, that is also true. And for those of you who have lost loved ones many years past, the celebrations of Christmas also make that loss feel all the keener. So know that it's okay at Christmas to feel the sadness as well as the joy. Know too that it's okay to be honest about those feelings with your friends, your family, those who know you and love you and care for you. Christmas also brings huge pressures for families coping with mental health issues or with addiction, for homes where violence can become the norm, for homes where there isn't enough money to put in the electric box this Christmas. Huge pressures, all felt the more intense because we are shown pictures on a screen every moment of our lives of perfect families, with tables groaning with food, with everybody laughing and having a wonderful time. The reality for many is that those images are nowhere near our truth. So if this year you're going to be struggling not to just break under the burden, I want you to hold on to that truth of that hope and that promise that we find in our stables. You might have an old nativity set somewhere in your boxes that you decided maybe not to put out this year. If you have, go and find it. Put it out and use that as the symbol of hope that will be the true Christmas. And I would love you to join us this Christmas at our carol service on the 20th, but also on Christmas Eve, where we will have a service from the kitchen table and we will bless not just the crib that I'll have here, but your crib in your home and every crib everywhere in the world that welcomes the Christ child, that welcomes the transformation that takes the sting from death and brings us hope. So go and find yours. Or if you haven't got one, make one out of cut out bits of paper. Whatever it is, we will bless it at the Christmas Eve service. And we will celebrate the light of Christ coming into the world. And that moment of knowing Christ is with us will help us to move through all of the other difficulties of our lives and know that we do not walk through them alone, but that Christ is with us, loving us, guiding us, keeping us safe. Keep your eye on what's going on with the services, and do please get in touch if you're going to be struggling. I'm not sure if we'll have a talk from the kitchen table next Wednesday. I'm actually going in to the IUH for a procedure on the Monday, and it really does depend on how I bounce back from that. But if I'm well enough, I'll be here. So I'll see you then. And don't forget, ring if you need me. I'm always on the end of the phone, she says, dashing off to answer it. God bless.